All right, Van calls meeting in order. First item is roll call.
Alderman Knox,
Here.
Alderman Lindbergh Gardner,
Here.
Alderman Myers,
Here.
Alderman Skinner,
Here.
Alderman Bray,
Here.
Alderman Soul. There is a quorum.
All right, next item will be invocation led by Pastor Chris Sims from First Baptist Church, followed by Pledge of Allegiance by Alderman Knox.
Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this place that we can care about, and these people that we can care about, and for the programs and the processes that you've given us to do so. Just pray for the leaders in the room, both elected and employed, that you give them wisdom and clarity tonight as they meet. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next up is the approval of the agenda.
No changes, Mayor.
All right, seeing no proclamations, next item will be public comment then. We ask the citizens who wish to address the board come forward to the podium and microphone. Make sure you have given your name and address for the record and signed in. Anyone wish to address the board this evening? Is he here? All right. What are you wanting to?
Yeah, I come as a friend, not as a foe.
Okay, I didn't know if you were, because
No,
we
I
do have the public hearing too, so I should have said that. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
good.
no, that's fine. I just wanted to talk a little bit about, first off, my name is Randy Price. I live at 1601 Northwest Pond. I've lived in the city about 2.5 years. So I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you guys tonight, Honorable Mayor, City Council. I've talked to you, I wanted to bring up the importance of the police department and the raises that you guys are looking at right now. Let me tell you a little bit about my field of experience before we go into that. I retired as a police captain. I spent 20 years in law enforcement in the state of Missouri. And since then, I've conducted my own business where I've done actually consulting with law enforcement agencies, administration, city government, and different police departments. One thing that we find whenever we're going through a negotiation term of this nature is, everybody wants to cut back. This is tough times. We're all going through different hurts, for lack of a better term. What I'd like to explain is that whenever you're looping in city employees all together, and you're saying that we're going to give you a 3% raise across, and everyone's going to get that. Well, from the police officer's perspective, from day one, from the very first day in the police academy, you're taught that you're different, you're held to a higher standard. So you really can't group everybody together to make that type of an endorsement. What we see whenever we do this is we kind of put everyone together in that same bucket and say, well, everyone's going to get a 2, 5, 10, whatever percentage rate. I haven't looked at your numbers, so I really don't know. But it's something that I just like to point out that, in terms of field of experience, when the officers, especially in a smaller knit town like Green Valley, experience is second to none. And, you try to get by, I hate to use the word as cheap as you can, but less expensive as you can. And really and truly what it boils down to, and Chief, I'm sure you can attest to this, is retention, keeping these officers here. Because the experience that you're gaining with these officers day in and day out is really what you're paying for. Because by the time you hire a new officer, because someone's leaving over a 3 or 4% matter or whatever, it's a situation to where you are losing that field of experience, losing that knowledge of this city, and more importantly, the citizens of the city. So that's something that I just wanted to bring to everyone's attention, to where if you are looking at raises for everyone involved in the city, then please keep your police department in mind in terms of the expertise that they bring, not only at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but more importantly, 2 o'clock in the morning, because you guys are the ones that are empowering these people. Everyone goes to the police academy, but then the city, the municipality, or the county hires them and empowers them, gives them the badge, the gun, the weapons to do the job. And with that comes the civil liability. And that's something that we need to all keep in mind as we're looking forward. I think that was my time, right?
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's all right.
Thank you.
All right? Thank you, guys.
Anyone else wish to address the board?
Jan Brill, 1035 Ephraim. Last time I spoke to you about the ordinance having to do with political signs, I got the First Amendment thrown at me as I was leaving, and it occurred to me that maybe I hadn't been clear about what I'm asking the board to do. Because I'm not asking the board to change the ordinance in any way about what signs can go up and how long they can go up, when they can go up, how long they can stay, and when they're brought down is what bothers me. If that's not an issue of the First Amendment, that's an issue of enforcement. The problem that the ordinance has is that should a person put his political sign up long before the time it's supposed to go up, the ordinance says they get 10 days to take it down. By that time, they're probably in a legal time, but the advantage that they've been given by their sign being put up early has already taken place. So what I was asking the board to do was to either write a new ordinance that just deals with political signs, when they go up and when they have to come down can remain the same, or you can change them. But this idea that once the sign goes up early, the person has 10 days to take it down makes no sense to me. If it's trashy or it's lawn, get it mowed, that amount of time makes some sense. But we've had this happen. We've had it happen, and we're certain that the person who did it knew what the rules were. And I would really like to see this, either a new ordinance made or some change that only deals with political signs. I would like it also to say a complaint doesn't have to be made for it to happen, and that the code enforcer can take them down. Anyway, kind of hurt my heart to think that I had been rude to the First Amendment.
Well, let me clarify. So the issue we're running into is we'll have to write a new ordinance because when I say First Amendment, the law now doesn't let us distinguish between political signs and other signs. A sign is a sign.
Okay.
That's what we're running into. And that's something new since our ordinance has been in effect.
I don't know of a city our size and larger that doesn't have rules about. County, yes, but
so that's what we're working on now is trying to figure out how to do. So if we say that, we can't specifically say political sign. It has to be a sign. Am I correct in that?
There are some distinctions that can be made, but you have to be very cautious as to what message you're regulating.
Yeah. And that's where the First Amendment kind of gets in. Like a candidate then could say we're violating their First Amendment rights by whatever. So we're
but
trying to, work it out.
I understand. And if it has to say the same ordinance, then maybe expect somebody to mow their grass down in 3 days instead of 10. But it's not fair the way it is right now, especially when people are violating it. So when should I bother you about this again?
That's all right. You don't bother with that. We're working on it.
But I came in April, and I don't want to take up time unnecessarily. But on the other hand, some of you know I'm not going away on this one. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to address the board? All right. Next up then would be consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Got a motion from Alderman Skinner to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Knox. Any discussion? All right. Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right. Seeing no previous business, new business, or presentations, we'll move on to public hearings. We have one public hearing for Big O's Equipment Rental and Sales for a conditional use permit for a concrete mixing plant.
We'll turn it over to Mr. Martin to give an overview.
Yeah, so this is application from Big O's Equipment Rental and Sales requesting a conditional use permit for a concrete mixing plant. The address is currently 701 Squire Court, which is just a little bit southeast from here, right off at James Rollo Drive in an M1 light industrial zoned area. What they're wanting to do is to make small batches of concrete loaded into trailers for small projects around construction sites and homes. When looking at the ordinance, we looked at what type of noise, dust, and what type of air pollutants this could cause from the dust. And it's all in a self-contained unit with a filtered system on it. We went through the public information process with posting this in the Examiner. Then we also sent letters to property owners within 185 feet. The way staff recommends this conditional use permit to be approved would be for a 3-year time frame, and then also screening from adjacent properties, along with containment structures to have material placed in there for containment. And then also they need to execute a minor plat to consolidate 2 lots into 1 lot. So, and once we get into the action items, the applicant is here also.
All right, does anyone more have any questions? I know, so the items you mentioned, Patrick, I know originally there was at least one concern regarding like the cleaning out of the material, so that's been taken care of then.
Yep,
with the,
and that's part of the containment structures that will need to be placed and then maintained. That way to prevent runoff and anything like that.
Planning and zoning approves it.
all right. As this is a public hearing, I will open it up to anyone who would like to speak for or against the conditional use permit. Do we have anyone who would wish to address the board regarding the permit? All right, I will close the public hearing then. And we'll move on to resolutions. First resolution is R25-49. It's a resolution by the Board of Aldermen of the City of Grand Valley authorizing the city administrator to execute an agreement with Crawford, Murphy, and Tilley for engineering services on the water tower project.
Mayor, I move to approve the resolution R25-49.
I got a motion from Alderman Lindbergh Gardner to approve resolution R25-49. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Mayor, members of the board, this agreement would be with Crawford, Murphy, and Tilley, who's our on-call engineer provider. And this would go along with the new water tower agreement that we have in place with the contractor, but essentially CMT would take care of all the engineering related items with it, as well as any of the oversight of the construction during that time.
Any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Next up is resolution R25-50, a resolution by the Board of Aldermen of the City of Grand Valley authorizing the write-off of doubtful utility account balances.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve resolution number R25-50.
A motion from Alderman Skinner to approve resolution R25-50. Do I have a second?
Second.
Knox. Any discussion?
I say, Mayor, members of the board, this is kind of a yearly exercise that we go through, but essentially it's any utility billing debts that could be bankrupt accounts or just accounts that we don't think we're going to be able to get money back on. This would be for the year 2021. This is something that we every year have tried to get better and better at. For instance, 2017, it was over 17,000. And so we are just over 9,000 for 2021. So the work of Stephen and his staff trying to make sure that we get what we can. They've done a good job with that, so hopefully that trend continues.
Do we have any questions or discussion? All right. Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Next up is Resolution R25-51, a resolution by the Board of Aldermen of the City of Grand Valley authorizing the city administrator to execute an agreement with Shawnee Mission Ford to purchase one police-rated Ford Explorer.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve Resolution R25-51.
Okay, I got a motion from Alderman Bray to approve Resolution R25-51. Do I have a second?
Second.
For Gardner. Any discussion?
Mayor, members of the board, this would be a new police vehicle. This would go to the 5th Sergeant spot that was made. So this would just fill the needs of current vehicle requirements.
What's our ETA on that?
Chief, do you know right off on that?
Yeah, the vehicle's ready now, and then the next meeting we'll have equipment coming before you. So.
Oh, so I already got the vehicle. Okay. Not like a few years
Questions or
ago.
discussion?
I know we've made the move to Dodge there for a little bit. Does bringing Ford back into it, does that have any impact on fleet maintenance costs or anything?
Yeah, and Patrick can speak to that, but I'll address it initially, is that we were working with our fleet maintenance to get back into Ford. There's an issue with Ford producing cars and us being able to be competitive.
Right.
And so we were kind of forced to Dodge for a year and a half or so without a fleet technician to get involved. So we're moving back into Ford.
Okay.
That's the plan.
Anything else? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Next up, then, be ordinances.
Okay, this will be the second read of Bill Number B25-15. This is an ordinance approving a conditional use permit for a marijuana dispensary.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve Bill B25-15 second read, bring it back as ordinance 2476.
Okay. I have a motion, Alderman Knox, to approve Bill B25-15 for its second reading, making ordinance 2476. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, seeing none, this will be roll call.
Alderman Knox,
Yes.
Alderman Lindbergh Gardner, Alderman Myers,
Yes.
Alderman Skinner,
Yes.
Alderman Bray.
Yes.
Okay, that's 5-0. The next one is the first read of Bill Number B25-16. This is an ordinance approving a conditional use permit for a concrete mixing plant.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we accept the first reading of Bill Number B25-16 and bring it back for a second reading by title only at our next regular session.
All right, I have a motion by Alderman Myers to approve Bill B25-16 for its first reading, bring it back by title only for its second reading. Do I have a second?
Second.
Knox. Any discussion?
Mayor, members of the board, this is the ordinance coinciding with the public hearing that we had earlier.
Okay. Any additional discussion? All right. Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, nay.
This will be the first read of Bill Number B25-17. This is an ordinance calling an election in the city of Grain Valley, Missouri on April 7th, 2026.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we accept the first reading of Bill Number B25-17 and bring it back for its second reading by title only at our next regular session.
All right. I have a motion by Alderman Skinner to approve Bill B25-17 for its first reading, bring it back by title only for its second reading. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Mayor, members of the board, this is a necessary step for us, giving notice of the annual election, general election in April. Just to go along with that, as far as election or a candidate filing, that starts on Tuesday, December 9th at 8 o'clock and ends Tuesday, December 30th at 5 o'clock.
All right. Have any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. That should be it for ordinances then. Up next, the attorney's reports.
Reach all the way over there for that. I don't have much to report other than what we had noted earlier, that the currently been working on a draft of a sign ordinance for the city, and we should hopefully have that staff to review here pretty shortly.
Thank you. Next up, to the city administrator and staff reports.
Mr. Martin.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a update this evening on the Front Street Capital Improvements Project. Moving right along. Got the water line 100% complete now, so the old line is out of service, new line's in service. Contractor's been working on road grade. They've removed all the previous road, and now they're grading for the new elevation of the new install. They've started installing lines for curbing, so hopefully we'll be moving right into getting the curb installed, potentially even starting within the next week here, and then followed by the roadway, and hopefully have the road and curbing all done maybe by the end of the month. So storm line is also complete, other than a couple rain gardens and minor improvements, we'll say, but the project's moving right along and making good progress.
Okay, so you're saying that I have somebody who's a little worried about if it snows, because how we're going to get the snow off. So the roadway will be in hopefully before we get a snow.
That's the hopes and dreams right there. So yes, we'll plan to hopefully at least have all the base of the road installed, like I said, by the end of the month, and then we'll come back and do the top cap hopefully in the springtime. But there will be hard
It won't
surface
just
there
be
before
dirt.
winter.
That's what they're
Yeah.
they're worried about, how it's going to get plowed if there's
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, so if the weather holds, road and curbing will be in by the end of the month here.
That's it for staff reports.
Next up then, Board of Aldermen reports and comments. Alderman Lindbergh Gardner,
Nothing at this time.
Alderman Bray,
Had the pleasure today, Mike asked me to go up to the Community Service League and sit in on a press conference where they announced a food drive for Eastern Jackson County. Went real well. I think there's a lot of support among the other cities here. I will say that they did not put an end date on it. And we didn't really set any solid rules, but apparently the loser's going to take a pie to the face.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you get lucky and that end date's after April.
We've already started a food drive now. We've already been doing one.
Well, yeah. Do you have a flavor you like this? So we can just.
And that's all I've got.
Cream, and it's really an actual whole pie, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was going to do I suggested pecan pie. Right to the face.
Nice guy. All right. Anything else, Alderman Bray?
That's all I got.
All right. Alderman Skinner.
Just two things. The first, the gentleman that came up and spoke about the police officer salary. I mean, I agree in general with what he said. You know, I look forward to working with the city on finding different funding mechanisms in the future. So I think that you know, really is our path forward there. So look forward to working with the police department and the city to come up with a path forward on that. The second thing, for those who don't know, I've sent an email to Ken about this, so I appreciate you looking into it, Ken, but I did want to bring it up. If you guys, so behind Dollar General on the north side of town, there was a graffiti incident. It looks horrible. So just give a brief background on the situation there. So when Dollar General came in, our current ordinance, and if you guys are familiar, I did put a motion through, and we are working on a new zoning requirement for like commercial butting up to single family. This is a prime example of why we need that. And I put that forward way before this graffiti incident, but more or less there was the homeowners there already owned a fence, right? So there was already a fence there. The Dollar General was allowed to, under our existing zoning rules, they didn't have to put up their own fence. And so they, got around having to pay for a fence because the homeowners already put this nice vinyl fence in. Since then they put a parking lot, within a few feet of that fence. People understandably believe that fence is, Dollar General's, and it was graffitied over, I don't know, it was a couple weeks ago. I believe this is creating, a decrease in property value. I think it looks horrible. I think it just, going to the broken window theory and everything else. I mean, I think it invites other type of crime to occur. There's obviously another commercial building going in there. My personal opinion of this is, and obviously it's open for interpretation, but I mean, our current city code, talks about like a public nuisance. The actual code is like 225-03, and it talks about a blighting influence, right? And so a blighting influence is, refers to conditions that degrade the physical appearance, economic value, safety, and overall quality of life in the community. Graffiti is often widely considered a prime example and significant contributor to blighting influence. So our current code today covers blighting influence. My personal opinion is graffiti falls under it. Also, that fence, obviously is owned by the homeowners there. But there's what's called the right-hand rule in Missouri, which talks about, when somebody is benefiting from a fence, they become 50% responsible for that fence. So I guess I'm going to make just a final request to the city to start the process, of notifying Dollar General that they're 50% responsible for the cleanup of the fence, because I do feel that they are, in violation of our city nuisance code. So I've made that point already, and I know there's a different take on it, but as a person who's very proud of my ward, I think that looks just horrible, and I do feel for the homeowners there. One, I think that our current code kind of failed the homeowners there, because this commercial property was able to build so close to their residences. And so, I think the least we can do is try to enforce our laws that are currently on the book there. So that's all I got.
I mean, is that something that's possible? Would we be enforcing on the homeowner too, though? Would they be responsible? I mean, they would have to.
Well, actually, if you go further into it, because I'm not a lawyer, okay, so at all. So, I mean, absolutely take the city's opinion on this. It is affecting my constituents, not just the ones who are affected by the fence, but also that entire neighborhood that has to see this on their way home from work. These are not, not criticizing any other neighborhoods, but this is a new neighborhood. I think they have the right to not live in a dilapidated, area there. My opinion of this is, and I believe there's case law, and I believe that there are state statutes that say, because the Dollar General is benefiting so much because of this fence, that they actually take full responsibility for the cleanup on this. But I would say, even with just the right of hand law that's on the book, and then there's tons of, it's actually in a state statute, right? It's 272.060 is the actual section there that talks about that. But I believe that they're responsible for that side of the fence, because they are benefiting of it, because they didn't have to put a fence in because it was already there existing. So I think every day this goes on, it's just more of a blighting influence for that part of town. I get a lot of contact from homeowners who are not happy about it. They're upset with Dollar General. Again, I know the city is reached out, and this isn't a knock on the city by any means. I know Ken's looked into this. I just think that every day this goes on, it just invites more crime. It just doesn't look good.
What's your opinion on it?
Yeah, so the way the code is currently written, the city does not have abatement authority over graffiti. So section 225.030 of the city code lists all of the quote-unquote nuisances that the city has authority to abate. Graffiti is not one of those. So in order to give the city authority to step in on private property and abate the nuisance, we would need to modify the code to include graffiti, and we'd have to define that properly in order to allow the city to use its abatement powers and its police powers to step in and have the property owner remove that.
So can I just make a motion to add that?
So we are currently going through the code and having that put in. So that's already in.
How long of a process is that?
However long it would take. I mean, have 2 readings of it, and we'd have to get the ordinance amended, so it'd be an amended ordinance. I don't know how long that could take to put together. One of the issues you do have in defining graffiti that some cities have run into is that you have to be very careful to avoid defining in a way that's gonna allow people to contest murals that are painted on the sides of buildings, things like that. And so you have to be cautious and balance what is actually graffiti as a nuisance and what is, for example, street art or murals or something like that that would give too much of a gray area to allow you to enforce it.
So, and I understand that. So 2012, for instance, the city of Kansas City put $210,000 towards graffiti because they deemed it a public nuisance that is a bigger issue than just a blighting influence on neighborhoods. The city of Lawrence, Kansas, graffiti is a blighting influence on our city that negatively impacts our business. So you're saying because it isn't, the code in section D talks about a blighting influence on properties. You're saying it has to specifically call out what that influence is.
Yeah, because the city code in the section that defines nuisances lists specific nuisances, and graffiti is not one of those. There's no catch-all either. So the city currently lists properties that emit noxious odors, properties containing carcasses of animals, hides, liquid refuse, rotten vegetables, litter or trash, wrecked or unlicensed vehicles, unkept property, that are a harborage for vermin or insects, uninhabitable property, and weeds or high grass. But graffiti is not included in that list, and so by exclusion, it would not be allowed to, it would not fall under the city's abatement powers.
So we could amend the ordinance to saying graffiti, adding graffiti, and the worst thing that happens is somebody put up a mural, is they would come up saying, oh, that's a mural.
Right.
But if it's just graffiti, they don't have a leg to stand on. So for what Ryan's asking, I think we could add that without any issue.
I mean, it can be added. It's just a little bit, we're gonna have to define graffiti to make sure that we know that it's graffiti and not art, or, I've seen cities where you have to define what, if a child writes on chalk on a sidewalk, you have to make sure that you're not allowing too much gray area there, because that may not.
Good.
Graffiti. So it's something that could be defined fairly easily. It's just a matter of how we can get it through the process.
Let me ask this. Just until we can get this other thing figured out. Do we know? Is it spray paint? And do we know what it is?
No,
Is it something that if us as aldermen just went and got a power washer, could we go over there and clean it off?
Well, I did bring that up. I asked that question of, I know we have a certain budget. Is there money in our budget to?
Well, I don't think we need to use the city budget. I think a couple of us can go over there and do it if we know what it takes. I've never removed graffiti. I don't know.
My personal opinion of this is it's Dollar General's issue, and I think it's up to them. And I know Ken. Have you had any luck with?
Yeah, so Patrick has had correspondence a couple times now with them, and we sent over the things that we use to get rid of it. And I don't know if you got anything else since this afternoon when
I have
talked,
not heard back since my message this morning to them.
So that is our push is to Dollar General to clean the fence.
Yeah, hopefully they'll step up.
Yeah, for every day this goes on, it's just affecting everybody who lives, in the neighborhood. It's just inviting crime into the neighborhood. So I guess my question is, how quickly can we, get graffiti added to an ordinance? Can it be the next meeting we do a first and second read to get this on the books?
Yeah, if the process allows for that, we can have something ready by the next meeting.
And what's the process?
We have to do 2 readings.
Yeah, the board. Yeah, they
the
can
board
make
can
the
correct
motion.
that, yeah.
Well, yeah, no, I know we can do that. I'm asking what's the process of getting the language added to the ordinance? Is that something that you guys go through a review or something with?
Yeah, we would have to just draft an ordinance amending the current, basically repealing the current. I don't have anything to repeal since we're just adding, but it would just be to add the definition of graffiti and then include graffiti in a list of nuisances that are subject to the city's abatement powers.
Is that something you feel comfortable you can get done before the next meeting?
When's the next meeting? 2 weeks? Yeah.
I think, is it 2 weeks or is that Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
I've
Yeah, I
lost
think
all.
it's 2 this.
Yeah. I'm so confused on when any meeting is.
Yeah,
I
that's
count in my
what
head.
I'm trying to avoid in my head doing the calculus for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's 2 because it's just the second meeting.
Yeah.
Have you talked to the homeowners? Are they okay with somebody cleaning it?
Well, they're fully believe it's Dollar. They were upset whenever the Dollar General went in that they didn't have to put up their own fence. That's where they were first upset, and that's why I first brought this to the city's attention when this process was happening, a year ago. So yeah, they firmly believe that that side of the fence is Dollar General's to be responsible with, and I think the law backs that up.
Okay. I'm just thinking, in the meantime, if I could find somebody to go clean it, they would be okay with that if we talk to them.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I'm just saying,
They've had multiple offers from other people to clean that fence for her on Facebook. So
and no one just has, or what?
she hasn't accepted any of those offers as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I mean, I think her stance is it's not.
Oh,
It's beyond being her fence. I mean, it's more of a community issue.
I think she's on a gray area there, and this is old farmer's opinion coming from family. If the fence is on your property and it's set back, it's your fence. If it's on the property line, then it can be split. It's the same reason you can't just attach to your neighbor's fence without asking permission first. So if it's not on the property line where it's split 50-50, I don't think she's correct in that statement. I could be wrong. But if it's back off the property line 6 inches, that's her fence. And it should have been something that was dealt with when Dollar General went in, between her and Dollar General as a civil matter, as to whether or not she was going to give up 50% of her fence to Dollar General's control. Which is a double-edged sword too, because then it allows Dollar General to do whatever they want with that side of the fence. So it's her property values are tied to it.
Well, either way, I mean, I think if graffiti is not covered in our city ordinance, it should definitely be something that's covered in our city ordinance.
Make a motion, have staff go that way.
well, they can. I mean, I think we're working on it, right? You'll have it for next time. Yeah, I'll have it for next time. Anything else, Alderman Skinner?
Nope, that's it. That's
All
all I
right. Alderman Knox.
I have nothing tonight.
All right. Alderman Myers.
Yeah, just one quick thing, and it is a little bit, it's adjacent to the city, but I wanted to just remind everybody that the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education just gave its annual performance report, and Green Valley School District did score the highest in Jackson County in the top 10% of the state, so shout out to them. Personal privilege, I work for the district, a little conflict of interest there, but nonetheless, I think it's an important matter. Thank you.
All right. Next up, be mayor's report. I got a couple things. First off, if you haven't yet been down, the Smithsonian exhibit Voices and Votes is down at the Historical Society. It's pretty interesting. I got to hang out with a bunch of 7th graders today and get to do it again tomorrow. Retired teacher, so I could, get back in there at some point. But it's, really interesting. So make sure you check that out if you can. Pass the word. So it's a pretty cool exhibit. Next thing I have, a question for Chief. All the holiday commercials and everything got me started thinking. I know last year we ran into an issue regarding the Santa bus and meeting beforehand and getting everything worked out with that. Have we heard anything from them yet regarding what's going on with that and who's doing what? And I just know last year we got kind of thrown under the Santa bus a little bit, and we didn't even.
I don't remember that, Mike.
Yeah, I met with him and we had a discussion about some of the things that would be needed and asked he would apply for a special event permit, and I haven't chased him down to do that. I kind of thought that was on him to apply.
You mean further back, like
You met
after
from
the
this
last
year or last year?
Well, I've met with him a couple times,
Okay.
but both last year and this year, we've talked and we met at the police station and went through some of the concerns and exposures that the city has by taking over an event, by shutting roads down, and then the number of vehicles we would need to do that, and the way it operates, and where he stops and how often, and some of the things we could do to clean that up to prevent concerns if they're just random stops versus dedicated stops. And again, I'm kind of getting the weeds, but there was quite a bit discussed about it. But I haven't heard from him for any assistance.
Okay, so we don't. I don't know. All right, so as of right now, he hasn't asked for any assistance.
No, we have no
bids or
permit
anybody?
requesting any assistance with that event because it's considered an event.
Yeah, I know.
How long, much lead time do we require for that permit?
Well, he should be starting now, but I mean, we have a practice, if the event is not too extensive and it's manageable and we can process, if it's not shutting down a whole region, then we can process that a little quicker, but it's supposed to have been submitted by now. But again, we'll kind of evaluate those as they come in, or somebody just having an event at their house in their yard and they're gonna have music. It's obviously not gonna take a lot of resources.
I guess my question is, if he walks in Monday, the week of Thanksgiving, and says, I'm gonna do this, is that enough time for us to do it, or are we gonna have another issue?
We're gonna have an issue if we can't figure out how to get the people out there, because
You have to
that's the,
schedule dips and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was
Yeah, I
wondering.
mean, that's what logistics would need to be worked out. That's what the permit obviously is for, so we can work those out and determine what resources we would have to,
Yeah, so
and then
how
res-
much lead time that takes to each week, you know,
yeah, and then
walk
let,
in on Monday for Thursday and go, here I am.
well, yeah. Yeah, we don't know. We'll have to see you know, I don't know, and I'm willing to take direction from the board or the city in terms of how they want to present it, but really didn't see it as my place to chase them down for a permit.
No, not at all.
Not at
Yeah.
all.
I mean, I can reach out to him, he'll probably ignore me. So, all right, I just wanted to make sure we were. All right, that's all I have. I don't believe we have a need for executive session, correct? Unless someone has one. If not, if no one has anything else, we'll adjourn.
Gee,